More and more divers are using a smartphone to capture their underwater adventures. And no wonder, because it's so convenient to use the camera that you've got in your pocket at all times to also capture those memories that you make underwater. But it can be challenging sometimes getting the best possible quality out of a smartphone camera, specifically when you use it underwater. But don't worry, in today's video, I'm gonna share my 5 top tips with you on how you can improve your underwater smartphone footage with ease. Coming up. Hey there underwater filmmakers, it's great to see you back here on the channel. Since I've been using smartphones to film underwater for quite some time, primarily for my personal and private work, I thought I was going to put a list together of my 5 top tips that are going to help you improve your underwater smartphone footage easily. Now let's dive right into the first tip that I've got for you today. Tip number 1 is to use a underwater video light together with your smartphone setup. Reason being here is because most of the smartphone sensors are rather small. The situation is rather dark. Let's say you're diving during an overcast day and there's just not a lot of light available in the water. So in these situations, I would definitely use an underwater video light. Tip number 2 is to use a dedicated, mostly third-party camera app when using your phone to film underwater. Now, the app that comes with your phone, the camera app, will mostly not be able to give you manual functions on the camera. So you won't really be able to set manual ISO, to set the aperture and the shutter speed manually. And these can be functions that can be very useful, specifically when paired with the extra light that we talked about in the first tip. Being able to manipulate the settings manually and have an extra light with you will give you a lot more options to create more creative footage that way. Now, obviously, there is a lot of different dedicated camera apps out on the market these days, and it would really blow this video here out of proportion if we start talking about the different options there are. But if you are interested in me making a comparison of different dedicated camera apps for the use on your smartphone, specifically for filming underwater, well then let me know down in the comment section below, and depending on your feedback, I might come up with a comparison video in the near future. Tip number 3 is to find a housing that really works for you and meets your needs. Now, there is a ton of underwater smartphone housings out on the market. There's been so many manufacturers coming onto the market trying to get a piece of the action and a piece of the profit that is in this market right now. And there is some really good options and there is some options that are not so good in my opinion. But it really depends on what you want and how much money you want to spend for your housing. There is housings that are made out of plastic, there is housings that are made out of aluminum, there is housings that have a vacuum system and a leak detection system integrated into them. There is housings that have a touch screen capability or touchscreen functionality integrated into the housing. So there is something literally for everyone. But it's important that you do take the time to look at a couple of different housings, compare them to each another, and just find your personal favorite for the type of shooting that you're planning on doing. I have reviewed quite a few housings, smartphone housings on this channel here in the past, which I'll link down in the video description below, so you can go and check them out if you wish so. My personal favorite when it comes to underwater smartphone housings at this moment, and for the last year and a half, I guess, has been the Divefork C-Touch 4 Max underwater smartphone housing. I really love this housing simply because of its unique touchscreen capability. Did you guys hear that? Yes? Did I hear die fork? Yeah, but great. Why? I'm not too late. Whoa, hold on, what's happening? Why are you crashing my recording session here, and above all, who are you? Oh, pardon me, my name is Ocean Waldo. It's a pleasure meeting you in person, Matthias. Okay, well, I guess it's nice meeting you too, but what are you doing here? Oh, well, I came here today to tell your audience about your video sponsor of today's video. What? This video is sponsored? Yes, you do have one. Okay, well, that's nice to know. Can you guess who it is? Well, I would say Peeps at Die Fork. Very well. Well done indeed. 100 points to you, my friend. But Die Fork isn't just the sponsor of today's video. It is also the most innovative company when it comes to the production of underwater smartphone housing. Yeah, that's very true. Now, as you were saying yourself before, the special feature that their underwater smartphone housings have is their unique touch screen capability. So you can use your smartphone just the same way underwater as you would use them on land. Isn't that great? Oh yeah, absolutely. And on top of that, it's not just a smartphone housing, but it is a modular system, which means that you can add a whole lot of different things to that smartphone housing, making it just the way you want it. There is wet lenses, there is filters, there is trays, there is lights, there is pretty much anything that you can think of to make your underwater smartphone housing just the way you want it and like it. And the best of all is that Die Fork is offering your viewers a discount of 6% on their next order from the Die Fork store if they use the link that you will hopefully put down in the video description below. For sure, man. But now, I must go. My time has come. Alright, well, are you gonna come back? Yeah, quite possibly. Okay then, well, bye-bye and see you later. See ya. Well, that was a rather interesting surprise visit today, but you know what? I'm actually really happy that Die Fork is enjoying the content that I'm creating using their Die Fork C-Touch for underwater smartphone housing. So Die Fork, thank you very much for sponsoring this video. Now moving along to the next tip. Tip number 4 is to use some sort of a tray to give you some added stability for your underwater smartphone footage. Now, like with every camera, every small camera, it is really difficult and challenging to keep it steady and still and get steady looking footage when using it underwater. And an easy way to help you with that is to add a tray with 2 handles, like a dual handle tray, so you can properly hold on to that and to the camera that is attached to the tray, and this should give you a lot more stability in your footage. And last but not least, tip number 5 is to use a red filter whenever possible. Smartphone cameras will have a hard time compensating the lost red color that just happens when you go deeper down on a dive. And personally, I would say if you deeper down than 2, 3, 4 meters, I would already put a red filter onto or in front of the smartphone lens. That way you're adding that extra red color back into your image, and your smartphone, the auto white balance of your smartphone, is gonna have a much easier job creating a natural, nice and pleasing looking image than if you had taken the same shot without the red filter on there. So there you have it. Those are my 5 top tips that should help you create better looking underwater footage using your smartphone. Now, if this video was useful to you and you got something out of it, please do hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you're not missing out on any future content that will be released here. Also, I'm actually thinking about creating a mini course about filming underwater with smartphones, something that a few people have already asked me about. Now, I want to put out this idea here in this video and ask you guys, is this something that you would be interested in? If that's the case, or whatever opinion you have, please let me know down in the comment section below, and depending on the answers I'm getting in this video, I might be creating a little mini course about filming underwater with smartphones in the near future. Thank you very much for your input regarding this matter. And this brings today's video to an end. Thank you so much for your time and for watching, guys. And if you do want to listen into my review of my personal favorite underwater smartphone housing, the Divefork C-Touch 4 Max, I will put a link to the video right over here so you can go and check that out. There's also going to be a link to a video that talks about the 8 general tips for getting better footage underwater, no matter what camera you're using. Until next time, have a great week. Keep capturing your amazing underwater adventures, and I will see you next Tuesday.